evening. I'm Dr. Rashida Willard, Vice President of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion here at Clark College. It is my honor to welcome you to our 2022 commencement ceremonies. Please join me in another round of applause for the last regiment of syncopated drummers. And now, please rise if you are able for the national anthem. Thank you to the Clark College Concert Choir for that beautiful rendition. Our music students are utterly amazing. Thank you. Please be seated. Good evening, and welcome to Clark College's 86th commencement ceremony. We begin tonight's proceedings by acknowledging that we are located on the modern and ancestral lands of the federally recognized tribe of the Cowlitz and the Lower Columbia peoples. By acknowledging, yes. By acknowledging the traditional and modern territory of these indigenous tribes, it reminds us to be intentional in our relations with the land, with its original peoples, and to each other. We pay respects to the indigenous elders, past and present, as we respectfully consider the many legacies of violence, erasure, displacement, migration, and settlement that bring us together. In just a moment, I will share remarks that Dr. Edwards had prepared for this evening. Unfortunately, she is ill and cannot be with us here today. Dr. Edwards is very disappointed that she won't be able to celebrate your tremendous accomplishments with you. Know that she is proud of you and all of the Penguin Nation. With that, I say with great sincerity that it is an honor and privilege to stand here before you tonight to celebrate the perseverance and persistence of these graduates. Earning a degree or certificate from Clark College is an important accomplishment. Earning it during a global pandemic, social unrest, and economic downturn is an exceptional achievement. Yes. Tonight, we celebrate 1,900 graduates who have demonstrated the power of persistence. It's the power of persistence that builds resiliency. It's a power that assures you that you can overcome any challenge. A power, according to Forbes magazine, that gives you the ability to stand up and take a step forward when everyone else sits down. Graduates, we congratulate and applaud you for walking in your power. It is also because of Clark's faculty and staff and their unwavering commitment to you all, our students, that we can rejoice in your accomplishments this evening. Graduates, please take a moment to thank them. And while you are thanking the faculty and staff, please give it up for your family too. Your parents, yes. Your parents, spouses, partners, children, aunts, uncles, cousins, and neighbors. Your families and friends deserve to be recognized for all the ways that they provided support to you during this time. Their small or large acts of kindness gave you the strength and opportunity to carry on. Let's show some appreciation to them as well. Unfortunately, we lost too many people to COVID-19. Over 1 million people in our country. For those of you who lost a friend or loved one, please accept my sincere condolences. While we continue to recognize the bereavements we've all suffered during the pandemic, tonight I want to focus on you, our graduates, and how your persistence shapes our future in positive ways. Persistence and resiliency is gained by successfully adapting to difficult or challenging life experiences. It requires mental, emotional, and behavioral flexibility and adjustment to external and internal demands. Ways in which you all have developed resilience include pursuing a meaningful goal such as your college degree, employing creativity and flexibility. Embracing creativity requires you to consider many perspectives and entertain flexible thinking. Acting despite fear. Whatever fears each of you have encountered while attaining your degrees, you acted and you overcame, which is why you're here tonight. You move beyond fear to being fierce. Creating agency for yourself. Agency is the capacity to act independently and shape your life circumstances. And lastly, resilient individuals draw strength from their social networks. They also provide social support to others. Clark's fabric of student, faculty, and staff supporters have always been critical to meeting the needs of our learning community, but was particularly necessary the last 2 years. It took all of that, and you all did it. We could not be more proud of you. Congratulations, graduates. It is my pleasure to introduce our platform guests this evening. I invite them to stand and remain standing as I call their names, but please hold your applause until they have all been introduced. Jeannie Bennett, Chair of the Board of Trustees, and Clark College Trustees Paul Spear, Christian Canseco Juarez, Denise Gideon, and Rika Strong. I'm also proud to introduce the members of the Clark College Executive Cabinet, so please hold your applause. Paul Wickline, Vice President of Instruction, Dr. Michelle Cruz, Vice President of Student Affairs, and Dr. Brad Avakian, Vice President of Human Resources. And finally, I would also like to welcome Kaylin Ouellette, Chief Executive Officer of the Clark College Foundation, Miles Jackson, Interim Associate Vice President of Instruction, Suzanne Sutherland, Faculty Union President, Kath Boucher, Dean of Student Engagement, Courtney Braddock, Classified Union Employee Union, Alex Reed, our Commencement Student Speaker, Xander Hawkins, President of the Associated Students of Clark College, Jordan Peterson, All Washington recipient, and Anne LaGrave, All Washington recipient. Thank you all for being here. It is now my pleasure to introduce Clark College Board of Trustees Chair, Jeannie Bennett.
Good evening. I am Jeannie Bennett, Chair of the Clark College Board of Trustees. On behalf of the entire board, I would like to say congratulations. I am so proud of you and so happy to be here with you, especially in person. You represent the best of Clark College and carry with you a proud legacy of achievement and public service. As the former CEO of Workforce Southwest Washington and a longtime advocate of workforce development, I know that community colleges in general, and Clark College specifically, provide the high-quality, timely, and necessary education to support skilled and dedicated employees. Regardless of your career path, by graduating from Clark College, you have made a tremendous investment in yourself, and employers will be thrilled to hire you. It has been my pleasure to serve as the chair of the Board of Trustees this year, and it is my honor to announce that my dear friend and fellow board trustee, Rika Strong, will be ending her term in December of this year. As a champion for diversity, equity, and inclusion at the college, Rika's intentional actions and commitment to dismantling oppression have fostered meaningful cultural change in her tenure here. After 10 years of dedicated service, thank you, Rika. Just like our graduates here tonight. Yeah, thank you, Rika. Just like our graduates here tonight, we wish you the absolute best. When I visit the campus and see students at work, my heart swells with pride. Thank you for your hard work in achieving your goals. Congratulations to you, your families, your friends, and to all those who encouraged you along the way. I cannot wait to see how great you make this world. So go Penguins, class of 2022.
Thank you, Jeannie and the board, for your support of Clark College and our students. In the same vein, the Clark College Exceptional Faculty Award is one of the highest honors that the college can bestow. Anyone at the college can nominate a faculty member for this award, but most nominations come from students to recognize professors who truly made a difference in their lives. For that reason, we announce the winners at commencement. At this time, I am proud to introduce our 2022 Exceptional Faculty Award winners. As I say your names, if you will please stand and perhaps give us a wave if you are able and be recognized. Please remain standing while I call all of your names and hold applause until all names are called. Katie Anastasi, Library. Dr. Amy Castellano, Phlebotomy. Stephen Clark, Biology, and Ariel Lamb, Surveying and Geomatics, and finally, Gail Robinson, English. Please join me in congratulating these outstanding faculty members. Earlier this year, the college announced the recipients of the Exceptional Classified Staff Awards, the Administrative Exempt Awards, and the Social Equity Award, whose names are recognized in your program as well. Each of these employees help make Clark College a better place for our students. We thank them for their service as well. Thank you so much. Yes, a round of applause. Thank you. And now, a greeting from our faculty. Please welcome Suzanne Sutherland, Professor of Communication Studies and the President of the Clark College Faculty Union.
Thank you, Paul, for your introduction. My name is Suzanne Sutherland, and I serve as the Clark College Association for Higher Education President. And that is, like Paul said, the Faculty Union. On behalf of your professors, I want to thank you, Clark graduates, for your participation as students in our classes. I want to thank you for your questions. I want to thank you for your comments during discussions, for reflecting on your life and your experiences, for analyzing yourself, looking at your strengths and your areas for improvement, for your commitment to growing as a student and as a human, for all of those hours of homework, for all of those hours of studying for exams and quizzes, for all of the reading, writing, solving, and exploring in which you've taken part. Thank you for your challenging questions and your inquisitiveness and your patience and persistence with this experience we call teaching and learning. We know there are times that you completely threw yourself into a class, sacrificing time with your family and other loved ones. There are relationships you put on hold. There are work hours and income that you passed up. There are parties, games, trips, dates, rest time that you gave up to be here tonight to accept your diplomas. I hope that you're incredibly proud of yourself, because we are. Your professors are not only immensely proud of you and your achievements, but we're also so excited for you and your future, as well as the future of your families. I want to sum up by sharing a few quotes. B.B. King, an American blues singer-songwriter, guitarist, and record producer, said, "The beautiful thing about learning is that no one can take it away from you." G.K. Chesterton, who was an English writer, philosopher, lay theologian, and literary and art critic, said, "Education is simply the soul of a society as it passes from one generation to another." Godswill Isaac, business administration student from Nigeria, explains Chesterton's quote by saying, "Education connects you with the stories, theories, and accomplishments of faraway cultures and generations. It offers you a body of knowledge greater than you can ever gain on your own in one lifetime." Finally, Martin Luther King Jr. said, "The function of education is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. Intelligence plus character, that is the goal of true education." Thank you, graduates, for thinking intensively and for thinking critically. And again, on behalf of your professors, congratulations.
Good evening. My name is Xander Hawkins. I am the Associated Students of Clark College Student Government President. It is my pleasure to be here with you all and to introduce our student speaker for the evening. Tonight, Alex Reed is graduating with his associate's degree, which is the first step in his long-term goal of becoming a nuclear engineer. His next step, Alex has enlisted with the U.S. Navy and will be shipping out to boot camp in July. Congratulations. Please welcome Alex Reed.
Hello and good evening. My name is Alex Reed. In my time as a student at Clark, I proudly worked in Clark's tutoring services department. I tutored beginning and advanced levels of both English and math and have helped everyone from 50-plus-year-old refugee ESL students taking college and academic prep classes to 18-year-old high schoolers, Navy veterans, and 35-year-old hairdressers looking to get a fresh start on life. Our community at Clark is very diverse, and as a tutor of a large range of classes, I've been able to get a glimpse of just how far that reaches. But even if we're so different in our backgrounds and our goals, today we're all united by one single fact. We made it. With all these tutoring sessions and nights spent crying tears of frustration over how to solve this frickin' integral, why are triangles so important? That's a good thesis, right? Did I forget to carry the one? What the heck does de donde eres mean? What does the author mean when he says the door is red? Well, I'm pretty sure he just means the door is red. With all the days spent trying to beat the deadline and thinking, it's due at midnight, I can wait till 11 to start it. With the days spent sending endless replies to discussion posts and trying to make time to go to the professor's office hours, starting Discord chat rooms with the other people in our class to form study groups, and always skipping over the resource section of the syllabus, we made it. Our time here has been weird. I don't think anyone can argue that. There are probably a lot of people here today who have never even taken an in-person class here at Clark. You're probably looking around and don't recognize a single person here, even though you've probably talked to a bunch of them in your online classes. Look around, say hi, talk to people. We did this together. A lot of us may never be going to school ever again. A lot of us are now going to four-year universities or starting a career. Now that we've gotten our degrees, we've still got a long way to go. Our journey is far from over. But for all of us, this is a step to something greater. So let's celebrate that. As we move on to something greater, let's all just take this moment to be happy that this is one challenge that we have overcome. We've taken this step that many are never able to take. Now we can be proud to say that we all have degrees on our resumes. We can actually put something under the education section. That's exciting. We should be excited because you know what? We made it.
Thank you, Alex, and congratulations. I wish you the best of luck. Clark College has established many partnerships to support our students. One of our strongest partners is Washington State University, Vancouver. There's a little clap. Let's clap. The Community College President's Award, in honor of former Washington State Representative Val Ogden, is given to a student who has completed their studies at Clark College and is transferring to Washington State University, Vancouver. Recipients of the award receive full tuition and fees while they finish their bachelor's degree at WSU Vancouver. This year's scholarship recipient is an excellent example of the resiliency and the tenacity of first-generation earners of college degrees. Like many of you, she worked through high school to help to support her family and eventually saved enough to pay for her first year of tuition at Clark. At Clark, our award recipient flourished as a student consultant in the Vice President's Office of Student Affairs, my office. Her work greatly contributed to making Clark a fully vaccinated campus, which was essential to bringing students back in person. She wrote in her essay, "Pursuing higher education is essential to success as a first-generation student. It allows me opportunities for social economic stability." But she notes, importantly, my academic training will allow me to influence the lives of students and juveniles positively. I will be a helping hand to my community, the same that Clark College has been to me. Her words reflect our message tonight, that education affords agency needed for long-term resiliency, which we echo throughout a lifetime. I am happy to announce the selection for the 2021-2022 Community College President Scholarship is Madeline Hernerty. Madeline, congratulations. Please stand and be recognized. Where you at, Madeline? This year's recipient was selected with the assistance of the Presidential Scholarship Task Force. Every year, the decision is very difficult, and that is why I'm proud to announce that with the help of the Clark College Foundation, we are going to provide 2 other students with $1,000 scholarships. Those students are Jaden Puka and Emily Kobalenko, and I'm sorry if I pronounced your names incorrectly.
Thank you, Dr. Cruz. I wanted to take just a quick moment before we go on to the conferring of the degrees, which is the most exciting part of the evening, to note that in my previous remarks around the Faculty Excellent Awards, unfortunately, we left out Luann Lundberg, who is in the career and academic prep area. So, Luann, if you're here, you get a solo applause from everyone as a result of that. So thank you for that applause and accept my apologies. So I am the Vice President of Instruction at Clark College, and I'm so proud to be here and to be able to begin this conferring of the degrees. I want to say again, good evening, and graduates, and congratulations on a truly momentous achievement. Not only are we at Clark proud that you've accomplished a significant educational milestone, but you did so under extraordinary circumstances. You had to find a way to not only juggle and prioritize school and work and family responsibilities, but to do so while you were navigating the challenges posed by the pandemic. You sometimes didn't know if the in-person class you signed up for would remain in person or have to move online. You had to make sure you had the computer technology and the privacy needed to complete your coursework virtually. When you were on campus, you had to make sure you kept your distance and wore a mask to protect yourself and others. You did all of this and so much more while you were trying to learn difficult abstract concepts, comprehend and apply complex math equations, understand a litany of literary terms, and memorize the names of a myriad of internal organs, bones, muscles, and nerves, but you did it. You survived these challenges through your tenacity, your hard work, your relentlessness, your creativity, and your resilience. And I know you didn't accomplish this alone, but had the help of your fellow students, your family, your friends, your faculty and staff along the way, hopefully when you need it the most. This event is all about you. During commencement, which signifies the beginning of your journey, not the end of your journey, we get to celebrate what you've accomplished while you've been with us. But equally importantly, what you are poised to do with that diploma in hand. If surviving and persisting in your studies during the pandemic has taught you anything, we hope it has taught you that you can do anything, particularly those really difficult things that sometimes seem impossible. They are not. You can overcome challenges and achieve your goals. If you can dream it, you can do it. Now, let's get on with the business of commencing the commencement. On behalf of the faculty, I am pleased to present the class of 2022. And I have a note for the graduates to rise for their degrees, but we'll do that in just a moment, I think. The faculty of the various departments and the divisions of the college have certified that these candidates have completed all the requirements for the certificates and degrees as listed in the program, and we recommend that they be granted. On behalf of Dr. Edwards and by the authority vested in me as the Vice President of Instruction at Clark College, which is organized and operated under the laws of the state of Washington, and as the representative of the Clark College faculty, I have the honor and pleasure to confer upon these graduates the Bachelor of Applied Science degree, the Associate in Arts degree, the Associate in Science degree, the Associate in Fine Arts degree, the Associate in Applied Science degree, the Associate in Applied Technology degree, the Certificate of Proficiency, the Certificate of Achievement, the High School Diploma, and the GED completion, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto. And now we begin the fun.
All right. So before we begin calling the roll, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge a group of graduates who are unable to be here with us tonight. Students in our programs at Large Correctional Center. At Clark, we support learning, which is why the Large Correction Center is a home to one of our only programs of its kind, providing incarcerated populations with the opportunity to earn their GEDs or college credits. The social and economic advantages of educating incarcerated individuals are why Clark College offers these classes and supports to incarcerated students. Students who know are eager to put their new skills and education to use in our community, and with whom Clark is proud to welcome into Penguin Nation. Tonight, 35 students are earning their high school diploma or equivalent. Congratulations, Larch Penguins. We are so very proud of you. At this time, will the readers please call the roll?
So just hand you the stack.
Yeah.
You got it. You got it.
Aaron O'Neill with highest honors. Anna Marie Schrader. Sylvia Jones. Jennifer Hooper with honors. Nicole Williams with honors. Kristen Mosley. Oriane Fatim. Matthew Levitt. Isabel Hankis. Wyatt Weberly with highest honors. Ryan Rose with honors. Catherine Sherab with highest honors. Alexander Weibert. Matthew Hollenbaugh with honors. Michelle Marquez with honors. Robert Vasquez. Hyen Trung Lee with honors. Chelsea Adamovich. Eliza Gonzalez Roman with honors. Angela Lee with honors. Jill Vernon with highest honors. Safety Donaghy with honors. Allison Costaldi with honors. Amanda McConville with highest honors. Daniel Corella. Taryn Hillstrom with honors. Adam Wilkinson. Eduardo Tripres Alejandres with highest honors. Tristan Colo with honors. Felix Jimenez Tapia with honors. Megan Finn. Eric Martinez with honors. Shelby Ramirez with honors. Jessica Hun with honors. Allison Kelly. Cynthia Dar. Elizabeth Quarles with highest honors. Norm Johnson with honors. Tori Wegdahl. Jaylee Wygant with honors. Jordan Whitmer with honors. Madeline Kraus with honors. Pamela Wertinen with highest honors. Savannah Sombrano with highest honors. Sylvia Walunas with highest honors. Alexis Detling with honors. Jacqueline Stapper with honors. Elena Crosby with highest honors. Catherine Bodner with highest honors. Alicia Moore with honors.
Jennifer Wynn with honors. Mayada Kayat with highest honors. Stephen Quimby with highest honors. Michael Estrade with honors. Victoria Heimel with honors. Brittany Perky with honors. Deanna Walton with highest honors. Jessica Wilson. Savannah Vyers. Kimberly King. Alexandria Sonia. Michaela Van Gaten. Cassandra Carpenter. Tiffany Alanis. Olivia Hernandez. Fanisi Garcia. Jenny Martinez Pagola. Nicole Bircher. Kayla Paul. Jennifer Rogers. Rakisha Williams. Jordan Peterson with highest honors. Alexander Hawkins with honors. Alex Reed with honors. Anne-Marie Legrave with honors. Devin DeVault. Alexis Barnes with honors with merit. Brenda Sanchez with honors. Luisa Ishakova with honors with merit. Bart Raymondoms with honors. Grace Baker with honors. Lillian Petrus with highest honors. Kirsten Pearson. Holland Burris with highest honors. Chinelle Johnson with honors. Abigail Mowry with honors. Makai Chida. Raymond Gwilliam with honors. Annabelle Veach. Amanda Udy. Grace O'Brien with honors. Juan Carlos Garcia with honors. Alexis Mayo. Alex Mayo, sorry. Jessica Wash with highest honors. Nicholas Clark with honors. Montserrat Soriano. Noel Ramirez. Ethan London. Mary Guevara Martinez. Yana Koshalap with honors with merit. Masha Cole Tagaiva with highest honors with merit. Noah Martin with honors. Sienna Koyama with honors. McKenna Potretz with highest honors. Hallie Burgess with honors. McKenna Munns. Sky Allen with highest honors with merit. Matthew Sipe with highest honors. Mercedes Waters with honors. Logan Longrath. Daniel Boob with honors. Callie Campbell with honors. Sitara Shankar with highest honors. Emma Holmes with honors. Nicholas Berggren with honors. Timothy Paul with highest honors. Kaylin Cook with honors. Marianne Harter with highest honors.
Laura Edgar with highest honors. Callie Bieber with highest honors with merit. Kadisha King. Riley Maddox with highest honors. Lauren Ravis with highest honors. Molly Rabus with highest honors. Gino Marchese with honors. Emily Rabus with highest honors. Savea Mansfield with highest honors. Isabel Klopman with honors. Chelsea Thompson. Zachary Thompson. Andrew Flowers with honors. Liam McClintock with honors. Thank you. Kiara Blancas. Nia Stillman with honors. Gracie McGraw with honors. Anya Schooler with highest honors. Larissa Zakina with honors. Sierra Levy. Hunter Mine with honors. Tannen Mine. Paley Combs. Alexis Rose. Olivia Rothgab. Connor Cuff with highest honors. Austin Lamb with honors. Shelby Lamb with highest honors. Riley Lowry with honors. Danielle Hansel with honors. Katie Geddes. Brittany Downing with honors with merit. Nakisha Mullen. Jordan Fry with highest honors. Maddie Hennerty with highest honors. Colton Sohota with honors. Rachel Erico with honors. Allison Locke with highest honors. Jake Onka. Kira McCloskey with highest honors. Brenda R.C. with honors with merit. Connor LaFave. Dominic Rivard. Kelly Sauter with highest honors. Frank Johnson. Marielle Barber. Sean Peck with honors. Thank you. Carla Zavala Trejo. Hector Moreno. Julia Watson with honors. Juan Carlos Cruz Perez. Katerina Kushner with highest honors. Mary Beth Fees with honors. Kayla Pamahase. Yetta Veloria with merit. Victoria Romhelt with honors. Alyssa Greger with merit. Kylie Marsh. Allison Hamilton. Anahi Ortega Rodriguez. Fatima Al-Ali with honors. Max Mitchell with honors. Eleanor Bareford with highest honors. Madeline Toomer. Alexia Wynn with honors. Jordi Cazada with highest honors. Corey Hing with honors. Saran Sahel with honors. Alana Chung. Sophie Killian with honors. Aaron Smith with honors. Anthony McFarland. Thomas Ariado. Ruslan Ganzin. Charles Leclerc. Michael Klobus with honors. Christopher Smith with honors. Ryan Brown with honors. Sabrina Bell. Simone Houston with highest honors. Zach Dirk. Kristen Warden with highest honors. Denali Turvo. Yvonne Bogdan. Ariana Nasrati. Kelsey McClure. Emma Laux. Spencer Laux with honors. Anthony Hendricks with honors. Kiera Burgos. Callie Butte with honors. Jenna Childress with highest honors. Jessica Clark with merit. Kayla Murphy. Cialo Ilado Ames. Robin Lehan. Yosan Mahari with highest honors. Ellie Stewart with highest honors. Viviana Wynn with honors. Jason Cabuso with highest honors.
Nicole Vidovic. Alana Alden. Tanner Watson. Cassandra Norton. Brian Newell with highest honors. Callie Richards with honors. Elizabeth Shelley with honors. Ashlyn Munson. Lila Solberg with highest honors. Brendan Kinney. Faith Riggin with honors. Ella Marie Lehman with honors. Gervir Gill with honors. Maria Mendez Tomas with honors. Kyla Nix. Haiti Flores Paniagua. Alyssa Alanis with honors with merit. Michaela Lucas. Ryan Esperto. Terrence Stein with honors. Jalissa Reyes. John Helly. Bear John Helly. Thomas Hernandez with highest honors. James Salyards with highest honors. Daniela Magnuson with highest honors. Jasmine Kamal Cipriano with honors. Nathan Pham with highest honors. Malik Malatama. Jasmine Carr. Luz Perez. Nancy Aguilar Palma with honors. Martha Rodriguez with highest honors. Angelica Espindola with honors with merit. Kayla Hawkins with honors with merit. Natalie Alamo with honors with merit. Alexis Sears. Lindsay Benton with honors with merit. Michaela Machman with honors with merit. Jeanette Sindra with honors. Olga Nesmianova with honors with merit. Justin McDaniel. Taylor Long. Ami Teramura with honors. Dania Winters. Valike Tamaklo with honors. Erica Gonzalez with honors. Lily Seal with honors. Brianna King. Aiden Johnson with honors. Jacob Habersetzer with honors. Diego Martinan Barraza. Nicholas Preto. Janella Singhos with honors. Tracy Bennett with highest honors with merit. Emma Bennett. Eric Hoth with honors. Melissa Lassiter with honors. Olivia Volk with highest honors. Shauna Rangleby with honors. Liliana Mendoza with honors. Jack Martin with highest honors. Matthew Aragon with honors. Sean Campbell with honors. Nicoletta Briscoe with highest honors. Mia Cool with highest honors. Rylan Eisenhower with honors. Camden Austin with high honors. Ezra Elalaimi. Veronica Seck with honors. Samantha Larson with honors. Maya Isabel Uckman with honors.
Evan Hyatt with honors with merit. Adriana Neff with honors. Alora McCullough with honors. Orlando Vasquez with honors. Presley DeWitt. Jade Cooper. Fen McDonald with highest honors. Bradley Hunt with highest honors. Mackenzie Burgess with honors. Sophie Labard with honors. Maxwell Barrow with honors. Kimberly Pendleton with highest honors. Nathan Whitson with honors. Trinity Reeves with honors. Vanessa Huynh with highest honors. Jaden Palka with honors. Pearl Moodzi. Yenhua Lee. Alexander Tihahode. Ellery Carter with highest honors. Riley Latham with highest honors. Nathan Criddle with highest honors. Thank you. Jairus Phillips with honors. Matthew Gerardo with honors. Carissa Cassidy with highest honors. Sydney Dreyer. Chase Howington with honors. Brianna Harper with highest honors. Jalissa Gonzalez with honors. Piper Feast with highest honors. Anika McCarthy with highest honors. Heaven Jenkins with highest honors. Allison Blottenberger. Brittany Fuller. Angelina Hagan with honors. Leo Cowing with highest honors. Alvina Sumstav with honors. Annalise Selby with highest honors. Tatum McDowell with honors. Marinal Fox with honors. Kayla Galatly with highest honors. Bona Castro with honors. Hunter Nelson with highest honors. Jonathan Hernandez with highest honors. Jennifer Huggins. Joseph Boyson with honors. Ashley Sauer. Catherine Moore with honors with merit. Luchin Dayanchenko with honors. Bailey Chambers with honors. Anna Bailene Loris with highest honors. Noel Walsh. Anita Tarkovskaya with honors. Jewel Walls. Logan Smith. Simone Mejia Gross with honors. Gracie Basila with honors. Sophia Trahan with highest honors. Michelle Kelly with honors. Elian Sarkinen with honors. Sandy Espinoza with honors. Peter Doherty with honors. Emily Rowan with honors. Emma Gerst with honors. Victoria Estrada. Alessandro Galatolo. Robin Gleason. Tin Dang. Kellen Ball. Kristen Perry. Timothy Yarnell with highest honors. Oh, you're Portia Perkins with highest honors. Alexa Smith. Imani Royster. Lexi Crabtree with honors. Ashley Zamora with honors. Tyann Thibodeau with honors. Jessica Walters with honors with merit. Ryan Lalongi with highest honors. Brian McCrae with honors. Logan Rogers. Donald Berger. Cameron Jersich with honors. Allie Bailey. Shelby Green. Lily Center with honors. Chloe Eng. Azucena Pinacho Diaz. Zoe Yausma with honors. Jennifer Whitmeyer, apologies. Christy Valentine. Connor McCutcheon. Chris Robison. Victor Koos with highest honors. Kavehi Fo with highest honors with merit. Maya Anson. Faith Fulton. Enrique Lopez with honors. River Walker Williamson.
Azal Agos with highest honors. Emily Meza Romo with highest honors. Eden Hastings with honors. Christina Hastings. Haley Artez. Ashley Adderholt. Evelyn Primachenko with honors with merit. Elizabeth Vargas with honors. Michaela Whitmire with honors. Jake Rose. Brendan Gottfredson with honors. Alina Goldenov with highest honors. I'm sorry. You said what? Sorry. What did you say? Maria Rosales? Yeah. Maria Rosales with honors. Mary Cruz Martinez with merit with highest honors. Maria Perez Collin with honors with merit. Carly Walt Hayes with highest honors. Dat Nguyen with highest honors. Persephone St. John with honors. Emelina Codrianu. Kamaya Nicholson with honors. Kamaya Nicholson with honors. Gabriella Wynn with honors. Jorge Jenkins with honors. Cassie Templer with honors. Emma Bariak with highest honors. Hannah Owen with honors. Reagan Ludlow with honors. Derek Ferguson with honors. Jasmine Ross with honors. Tiffany Paget. Michelle Salling with honors. Melanie McKinney. Teresa Carson with honors. Christy Warnicki. Russell Bingham. Angela Fabianchuk with honors. Jennifer Smith with highest honors. Nancy Garcia with honors. Holly Wong with honors. Bethany Carden with honors. Grace Clifford with honors. Kaya Sefrin with honors. Kaya Patterson with highest honors. Amar Murhi with honors. Ellie Durgarian with highest honors. Shaylin Shang. Katie Butters. Jasmine Trujillo with honors. Margaret Keller with honors. Paul Garfalakis. Faith Prom with highest honors. Oliver Hyatt with honors. And Angelia Rosberg with highest honors. Madeline Ferrier with honors. Lucy Hahn with highest honors. Natasha Truex with merit. Robert Hobson with honors. April Parent with honors. Wait, it was Somerville? Regina Somerville with honors. Taylor Peterson. Kara Jordan. Lupita Morales with honors. Jennifer Stutzman with highest honors. Adrian Stutzman with highest honors. Justin Ritchie with highest honors with merit. Spencer Brown. Kylie Pontius. Brandon Stacy with honors with merit. Vela Ochaga. Brandon Vela Ochaga with honors. Connor Randall. Zach Eichler. Dallin Howell with honors. Jessica Hayes. Naya Slater with honors. Cody Mowry. Desiree Enns. Lillian Swinson with honors. And last but not least, Rachel Knuth.
All right. Degrees and certificates are now conferred on the class of 2022. You are now members of an ever-growing community known as the Clark College alumni. We will always be proud that you were members of the great Penguin Nation. You may now move your tassel from the right to the left. Congratulations! As we conclude our celebration, I ask that all guests please remain seated until all graduates and the last regiment syncopated drummers have exited the building. Thank you all. This has been a wonderful evening. We are so proud of each of you, and we celebrate you with immense joy. I wish you a remarkable success in your future endeavors. For some, this may mean the end of your schooling, but not the end of your learning. I want you to look ahead to what you will accomplish next. Use the power of your degree to make the world a better place. Earlier tonight, Dr. Willard highlighted the benefits of resilience, how hardship can inscribe you with the character-building skills you need to succeed. But I would be remiss if I did not emphasize this crucial point. Success is predicated on social supports, whether that be family, a scholarship, or access to needs. It takes a lot of people, good intentions, doing good things to get us all here. The education that you obtained at Clark College has equipped you to be part of the shared experience of passing on the upward mobility garnered through educational attainment. I know your future will be in good hands with all of you there to shape it. I hope you have a chance to rest and catch your breath this summer. You deserve that, graduates. Thank you, good night, and be well.